to the Voice Den. So excited to have you here for this very first episode of the Voice Den. I hope you can all hear me. If you can hear me, I'd love you to just put in the chat there, yes, everything is going A-okay to start us off. All right, yes, awesome, amazing. So, whoa, we got so many people, so much action, I love it. Ian's there, Mike's there, Neil, Michael, Sula, Ash, Dave. The list goes on and on. All right, guys, I hope that you all have a drink. You've got some snacks. You're sitting in a nice comfy chair. What are you drinking? Tell me what you're drinking. I want to see what you're drinking. Type it in there. Let's go. Let's get some action. I saw some people, tea, water. Oh, my goodness. Come on. H2O, lemon, and anybody drinking anything? Come on. All right. There we go, Pete. Good stuff. Feel free to interact in this chat throughout the entire show, okay? Because this is what it's all about, interaction and bringing us together and having lots of energy and chatting with each other. All right, I have to say, first of all, thanks to Audiobrain, Audrey Arbini, one of our voice influencers, for all the sonic branding that you are hearing today on this show. She's incredible. You've probably heard me speak about her before, and she's done everything. So big thanks to Audrey Arbini and Audiobrain. Also, I just want to recognize attn.live and Ian Utility. Their company, they are live streaming this episode of the Voice Den through YouTube and Amazon Alexa through their platform attn.live. Those of you that are here, obviously, inside our den are getting the premium experience. You get the video, and of course, you get the opportunity to interact with the voice influencers. Along those lines, I got to get some little bit of housekeeping stuff out of the way. If you look down in the bottom left side of your screen, you'll see something that says Get Audio Video Help. And there is a link that if you type in to your browser, Crowdcast, let me pull this up here. You'll see the link at the top. But if you change the end of the link to setup, you can then get some help with your audio or video, particularly if you are wanting to come on live to talk with one of our voice influencers so that you can make sure that your camera and your microphone are working appropriately. All right? So just so you know that. If you do run into any technical difficulties, the first thing to do is just try refreshing your browser. That usually takes care of a lot of the problems with this platform, if you hopefully won't run into any. Okay, let's get right to this. We need to do some introductions and tell you how this is going to work, because this is all about you and bringing you on to talk with our voice influencers. And so I want to introduce our voice influencers. First off, joining us, ladies first. First off, joining us all the way from Australia, the Jedi Knight of Law, we have Bianca Phillips. And her little known secret, Bianca makes a chocolate cake that would turn even Darth Vader. I don't know how much a secret is now, because now it's on your card. But anyway, that's my weakness, so I can appreciate that. Her expertise is around the mechanics and machinery of lawmaking and digital health. Her knowledge attracts interest from startups and multi-billion-dollar firms all around the world. In addition to research and consulting, she is a lecturer, and she is the host of the Voice of Law podcast and an ambassador to the Open Voice Network. Watch out for her new initiative, the Voice Tech Lab, where people will have the opportunity to test their ideas in her lab and consider how some of their wildest ideas of the future could function under the constraints of the rules of the law today. So that is Bianca. And Bianca, thank you very much for being here. We're going to bring you up in just a moment here. All right, next, we have Audrey Arbini. And I mentioned her already. She is the audio brain. And she comes from New York. She has super dog hearing, Audiobrain, super dog hearing. I think they kind of go together. What do you think? That makes sense to me. She is an Emmy Award-winning founder and CEO and executive producer of Audiobrain, one of the most prestigious sonic branding firms in the world. She's got over 25 years of experience. She's worked with Microsoft Xbox. She's the 9-time music supervisor for the NBC Olympic broadcasts. She's worked with Holland American Lines, Whirlpool, Logitech, IBM, Google, many more. Her sonic imprints are heard hundreds of millions of times a day throughout the entire world. Pete Erickson, the motivator, founder of Modev and Voice Summit. I didn't know this, but Pete's from Japan. Who knew that Pete was from Japan? I had no idea. Pete worked at the very first Costco store. And I have a feeling back then hopefully you didn't have to wear a mask at any time. So that must have been, and you said you worked with, I'm looking at your information here, an IBM-based cash register system. Wow. He's the fifth of 10 children, and he had to choose a profession that put him right in the mix, and that's what he did. He builds communities and events. After starting as a meetup in 2009, Modev is now a globally recognized name in technology with leading events and media properties like Voice, Spinnaker Summit, and he's got top sponsors including Netflix, Google, Amazon, and Adobe. All right. The Voice for Voice. Dave probably doesn't need much of an introduction. If you've been at any of the Voice events, you've probably heard Dave speak. Dave is the chief evangelist for Amazon Alexa, the Voice for Voice. And I actually think that Dave wants to be Alexa because Dave can tell the weather, he can tell corny jokes, and he sets an unlimited number of timers with the wake word Dave. So if you ever find that you're in a place and you don't have an Alexa device, and Dave is around, just like say Dave and get him to set a timer, and he'll be happy to do it. All right, good for you, Dave. So he's a professional speaker, trainer, taught full-length courses on many topics, including voice design, natural language understanding, mobile, and cloud. He's helped numerous companies launch technology platforms and devices with both Microsoft and Amazon. He's the host of the official Alexa podcast, Alexa Dev Chat. And finally, the most mysterious person, I think, of the bunch here, the Navigator, Brett Kinsella. So you may know Brett as the founder and CEO of VoiceOne, but when I asked Brett, I need some information on you, Brett. This is what he provided to me. Brett was born in the Matrix, and he's often mistaken for Agent Smith. That's it. So you take what you want from that. That's Brett. Nice to have you on the show with us, Brett, and we go from there. So what I'd like to do is, you will have to bear with me as I'm navigating our system here to bring people up and on as we need them. I want to bring each person on just very briefly, just say hi, introduce themselves. So here we go. Let's bring Bianca up. And while I'm doing that, we'll bring up a couple other people here, just so that you can say hi and meet the voicefluencers. Takes a moment for them to connect. Bring up a couple at the same time here. All right. And here we go. We've got two people up here. So, Bianca, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Audrey, the Audiobrain, there you are as well. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is going to be a real blast today.
Wonderful. We're going to be hearing a lot more from these people as we go along. We've got Dave joining us here as well. Dave, how's it going?
Hello, how are you?
Great. Thank you for being here. This is going to be a lot of fun. And then we've got, we're going to bring on Pete, and we're going to bring on Brett as well. So let's do that. Hello there. Look at that.
It is good to be in the chat. I think people first, I need to share some news. I am the president of the Brett Kinsella fan club. No lie. I have an autograph picture of me and Brett to prove it. So there it is.
Amazing. Very good. And then Brett, we're gonna bring you on here as well. And then we've covered our bases here. We've got all the voicefluencers have a chance to say hi, and then we're gonna move on with our program. Really excited.
I'm gonna shout out to Michael Novak right away, and he called it fake news from Pete. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this goes.
This has been authenticated.
I've never done a beat like that in my life. I don't even think that's me. I have a lot more hair than that.
Just wait, Pete. Wait until you see what surprise I have in store here. If you're a true fan of Brett, I think you might be interested in what's coming up here. All right? All right.
Hey, listen, I'm just glad to have a fan. That's all we need in life. One fan.
One fan will do the trick, huh?
That's right.
All right. Very good, guys. Okay, so I'm going to bring on another special guest here. And as I do that, I'm going to explain to
you. Is it my mother?
Well, maybe. You'll have to see here. All right, here we go. And navigating the system here we go. There's our next guest coming up. So this is, as I'm going to set this up for you now, who I'm inviting on right now is Ian Utilli. Ian Utilli is the CEO and founder of attn.live. He's been a great partner in promoting this event, and I appreciate everything that he has done. And we have been talking behind the scenes about a very special surprise. Something that is the first of its kind in the entire voice industry. And I am so excited I'm going to turn this over to you, Ian, to just explain this a little bit. And as you're ready, I'll show a couple of graphics, okay?
Wonderful. Hello, everybody. At the Voice Den, all the voicefluencers. I popped some questions down there, so maybe I'll get on the hot seat. So what we're talking about right now are the cards or the posters that were made for this event, for the voicefluencers. So there's these cards made front and back, and something that we do at attn.live that's unique to media and unique to the voice world. It's more common in the decentralized tech space, or you may call it the blockchain space, is to create NFTs. So every time somebody does a live stream through attn.live, an NFT is created, like a house has a deed, a car has a pink slip. Our content creators get tokens to prove that they own their content. And so in the same way that we do that with our audio content, we're taking these cards and we're actually putting these cards on the chain, on a distributed ledger. And so this will allow each of these cards to have scarcity. There'll be a limited number of the cards. And so Terry's done the card designs. And so we've taken these front and back designs for each of the voicefluencers, and we've created 29 different versions of each of these cards. One will be for Terry, one will be for us, one will be for the voicefluencers themselves. And then there'll be 26 available that Terry can choose to release out to the folks that are most engaging. So I strongly encourage all of you, go down to the Ask a Question button next to people and ask a question so that you can get upvoted and get in a hot seat, because we're going to give some preference to getting cards out to those folks that engaged most with us. This is my first attempt at publicly trying to bring together some of my friends in the voice tech world with some of my friends that help me do these NFT creations in the blockchain space. And I think we'll look back at this moment and be like, oh, that was a really cool first way of bringing these two worlds together. So that was our idea. We kind of worked on it lightly for a week and ran into some roadblocks, and then we're able to break through in the last 24 hours and get these things ready to go. So I was sharing it with Terry, and Terry's like, oh, you got to come on and explain what these are. So everybody's familiar with stamps and coins and sports cards. Okay, well, obviously a coin or a stamp that's unique, that there's only one of, would have a lot more value than one that there are unlimited numbers of. Same with sports cards, right? The cards that have the piece of bat or the piece of the hockey stick or whatnot that's signed by the person. Like, that's special. It's one of 50 or it's one of one. That's what we're creating with these NFT cards, is we're creating a scarcity that's proven by the distributed ledger, and each of these cards will be a one of one, and I think it'll be a fun thing to enjoy now and to enjoy in the future. And so, that's about it. I think the more I talk about it, the more confusing it is. So I'm gonna stop.
Wonderful, Ian, and it's amazing. I was like Ian said, when I heard about that and we started talking about this, it was just so great. It was such a really innovative idea. So fantastic.
Yes.
And with that, I'm going to keep you there, Ian, because I know you did ask a question.
I have. I've asked a question of all five.
What you will see.
I'm a socialist when it comes to asking questions. Just ask everybody a question.
Here's how it's going to work now. Ian, so down at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see Ask a Question. And if you look at that, there is where you can ask a question for one of these voicefluencers. I'd like you, if you can, to direct your question to someone so that we know who you're asking your question to. So if you pull it up, you'll see that people have started to write questions. They're directing them towards one of the voicefluencers. And then I'm going to invite that person on screen. And as well, we're going to invite a second person on screen. And then you'll notice that there is a timer on the screen now as well. You get 5 minutes. 5 minutes to talk to your voicefluencer, and you'll know when your time is up. And I'm going to be ruthless, because then we got to give somebody else a turn. So we can see that we've got the first question here. It says for Bianca about Australia. how might you suggest the team at Attention Live bring our product to the lovely people of Australia? Anything specific we should be aware of? So let's tackle this one. Let's bring on Bianca. So we're going to do that. And I think ladies first, right? We're going to bring on Audrey as well. And
Wonderful.
so let's do that. And Ian, it's going to be up to you. The floor is yours once we get these two on the screen here to take it away. I have a little bit of
I have my 5 minutes. I better be very articulate.
You ready? I'm going to hit the timer.
Great.
When you start.
Okay,
Ready?
I'm starting. Here we go.
Oh.
So Bianca, my question for you was around Australia. First of all, wonderful to see both of you. It was great to spend time with you yesterday on the Inside Voice podcast.
Same.
That was so great that you joined Terry and myself and Pete and the rest of the folks there. So Bianca, I've taken tech products international before. I haven't taken a technology company nor a product to Australia regarding voice. And so since you're there, I thought this is a fun question. I didn't want to ask you a question about law because I figure if I don't know the rules, then I broke it on accident. It's terrible policy, but the truth. So as far as reaching people in Australia, if we want to bring our skill, our live podcasting skill for creators, hey, that's true, Mike, for creators and both for consumers, those that would create the live podcast and listen to them, is there anything that myself and other startup tech guys or gals should be aware of as we consider reaching out to our friends across the sea?
Thanks so much, Ian. Okay, so great question. Firstly, you're going to have an Aussie to help you because we speak a little bit differently.
Yes.
So, you have to be aware of the lingo, basically. Essentially, we have quite a different legal system in terms of protecting a range of different things. Sorry. So, it's a different environment. It's a different ecosystem in Australia, and also the voice space itself is at a very different place compared to the US. So essentially, we'd have to kind of sit down and talk through the strategy of where you're at exactly in terms of bringing the product to Australia potentially, and what the timeline looks like. And then I would be connecting you with some lawyers, some attorneys in Australia to help navigate that environment, and I could definitely help support that process as well. So being the voice that speaks to the lawyers behind the scenes to kind of get that all going, and to introduce you to people who are leading the way in voice. There's one person in particular who's here today doing from Alfred Help. He's leading the way in voice technologies in Australia. So I'd be introducing you to key players in Australia and helping you do that. But yeah, it's a different environment, so we have to talk through a range of different things. You've never thought through Australia as an option before?
I have, but with other tech companies, software companies that were like SaaS products that were for small businesses, and so it's a different approach. This is so new. Everything's so new around voice, and what we're doing is new. So I thought, but I'm very mindful that both Australia and New Zealand and all the Aussies and Kiwis out there, they are on the cutting edge of communications and have great internet access. We speak a common language, and if we say it differently, and there's a lot of commonalities, and it's an easy thing to bridge if it's done right. And if we do that, I want to make sure we do it right.
Yeah, definitely. So that's really great. What was your experience like in previous occasions engaging with this?
Well, why don't we talk about that separately? Let me ask Audrey a question with my last minute and a half.
Sure.
Yeah, because Audrey,
or I can answer the same question, whichever.
So the question I had for you was about sonic branding, and that was, Attention Live, our company will need a sonic brand. It would be amazing to have your company, Audiobrain, do that. I think live podcasting as a category, as a thing, live podcasting probably needs a sonic brand that can be shared amongst live podcasters, potentially. My question was, before a person or an organization